everybody. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, episode 197, believe it or not. I'm your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the War Room for the 197th time since the show debuted on March 14th of 2020. And as you can already tell by the intro and the whining, someone is very excited about, for some reason, the show starting. For anybody that's new to Cocktails in the War Room, let me tell you what happened. So back on March 14th of 2020, I decided to go on Facebook Live and kind of let everybody know how I was doing after the demise of my beloved WAAF. And of course, it was the beginning of the pandemic. And so we all kind of hung out in this. Oh, are you okay? Her claw just got stuck in my ring. Ow. You all right, baby girl? And we call it Cocktails in the War Room because this is, in fact, the war room of my house where I keep all of my military memorabilia and also where the bar is. Thus the cocktails part. We did 80 shows in a row, and then we made Cocktails in the War Room a weekly show where we get together every Tuesday night at 8:30 right here in the War Room with my co-host, the pain in the ass, Wednesday. What are you doing? Come over here. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Huh? Do you want to have a cookie? Back up so everybody can see you. Can I have your paw? Thank you. Did your claw get hurt? Maybe it's time for a nail cut. Huh? You want a manicure? All right. There you go. And along this journey with me the whole time has been the Nugget, the Midget, the Booger. She has many names, but we call her Wednesday the Goth Pug. That's where you can find her on Instagram. What's up, Hines? Hello, Brian. Christine is here. Michelle joining us. Tracy, Selena. What's up, Selena? Shannon is here. Lisa, Travis. What's up, Travis? Joe Rock joining us. Karen is here. Keith is joining us. If you are new to the War Room, if this is your first time in the War Room, you got to let us know in the comments. Not only that it's your first time, but you also have to let us know where you're joining us from because it's hard to tell. You know, you guys could be watching from anywhere. Christine is here. Jen, what's up? Rodney, what's going on? Karina's here. Tom, Amanda. Good girl, Wednesday. Are you okay now? Did you get all of the zoomies out? I think so. So lots to talk about today. The first thing that I want to remind you guys of is that I'm not taking the show on the road. I'm going to be back before next week's show, but I am headed to Chicago later this week, and I am looking for suggestions. So feel free to chime in the comments about what I should see, where I should take pictures, what I should be eating, and where. Not like that, perverts. But if I've been to Chicago many times, I've had a blast every time I've gone. And I absolutely love the city. It actually reminds me a lot of Boston in a lot of ways. And what's up, Melissa? Watching in Nashua. Walter, get Wednesday a manicure and cookies, Jonathan says. So if you guys have can't miss hot spots in Chicago, places that I definitely have to hit, I'm only going to be there for a few days and then back because I got to get back on the air. There's just a lot going on. Not only with the radio show and the podcast, but family-wise as well. So I can't be gone that long. It's actually a work trip for a radio convention that I have been asked to be part of a panel for. So I am going to be tied up for a lot of the daytime, but the nights are going to be free. And I am going to be staying in a hotel right downtown. So I'm definitely going to be looking for spots to walk to. Christina wants to know if I watched Woodstock 99 on Netflix yet. I have not. I watched the documentary film. I haven't watched the limited series. It's 3 episodes about Woodstock 99. We've talked about it a bunch since the documentary came out, actually. I have not watched it yet. I was there. And so I know what I'm getting into when it comes to watching the limited series. I am going to watch it though, because I've heard there's a lot of never before seen like footage and I really want to see it. Carson Daly came out and did an interview this week saying that he thought he was going to die at Woodstock 99. partially because a lot of people back then hated Carson Daly. And so a lot of the aggravation was focused on MTV and Carson Daly and TRL and kind of like all of that kind of stuff. But I do want to watch it because I know how fucked up it was. I was there, although I've said it many times. I'll repeat it just briefly. I was there. We were prepared for it. And we were so used to being at shows featuring all of those artists that we were okay. And I had an absolute blast. So I kind of feel bad. Keith says the Netflix series is very close to the HBO documentary. So yeah, I mean, I am going to watch it because I do want to see it, but, you know, I feel bad in a certain amount of ways that I, had a great time, that I had an absolute blast, and, that I wasn't really scared. You know, it doesn't top Woodstock 94 by any stretch of the imagination. That still goes down to me as the best concert I've ever been to, but 99 was pretty awesome too. Who's starting the GoFundMe for the WAF Rock Bus? So if you guys watched on Twitter and on Facebook, someone was at a junkyard recently, and the old WAF Rock Bus, the big giant blue bus with the fireballs going down the side, it was an RV, brand new, that we gutted. So we took the bathroom out, we took most of the kitchen out, left a fridge, left a sink, but we never had water, cleared out the bedroom in the back and made it kind of a storage room / kind of back lounge. It was supposed to be where we did all the interviews, but we never did the interviews in the back. We always did them in the front lounge. The Rock Bus was amazing. When we decided to get the new Rock Bus, I remember distinctly all of the meetings about the paint job, that they didn't want it to be black, that they didn't want to feed into like the black t-shirt thing. And I was like, make it black. It'll be awesome with the big logos. And we just had a lot of really good times in that Rock Bus, and I hate to hear that it's in a junkyard just like rotting. It was all gutted, obviously. All of the engineering stuff, all of the equipment, all of that stuff got pulled out a long time ago. But I just see the shell of what it used to be, and it just makes me really sad. What's up, Will? Did you drive it? No, we've talked about it in the past. We actually had a promotions director and marketing coordinator named Otto, who was the Rock Bus driver. And yes, we know that it's the name of the bus driver in The Simpsons, and it was his real name. It wasn't like a nickname. And he was Hungarian. And so I did not drive it, but he did. Matter of fact, Otto drove the RV that we took to Woodstock 99, that the radio station didn't want to send the Rock Bus for a couple of reasons. One, we didn't have broadcast rights at Woodstock 99. And number two, we had taken the beds and the kitchen and the bathroom and all of the guts out of it, and we needed all that stuff to survive Woodstock 99. So we rented a giant RV, and me, Otto, Alfonso, our promotions coordinator, Ian from Real Rock TV, and an intern named Tucker, we went out together, and we had beds and air conditioning and a full kitchen and running water and a generator and air conditioning. Again, I'm going to say it again because it was so important. We had coolers, we had an awning, lawn chairs. Like, we were so prepared for Woodstock 99 that, that's why we had so much fun. And Otto, when the shit really hit the fan and we were able to break the news about the riots and stuff, he actually got the RV on a one-way road that was supposed to be a road coming into Woodstock, and he drove the wrong way for like 20 miles on this road to get us to the highway because traffic was so backed up. When things really started getting squirrely, people started to panic and they started to try and get their cars out of there. And the traffic jam was like 9 hours long for people to get their fucking cars out of traffic. Because we had this big vehicle, Otto was just like, I'm getting us back to Boston. We need to get on the air. We had pictures, video footage, eyewitness accounts of everything that had been happening, audio recorded. And he was like, it was a Sunday night. And he's like, we need to get back for Hillman Show Monday morning. And so he drove the wrong way. Otto, the bus driver, drove the RV the wrong way for like 20 miles and got us back in time for Hillman to sign on the air at 6 a.m. the next morning. It was just insane. Have the pickers buy it and redo it like they did with Aerosmith's first van. Hi, as a matter of fact, the Aerosmith first van is actually set up in the lobby of the Deuces Are Wild residency in Vegas, because when I went and saw it before the pandemic, it was there. So I'm pretty sure that Aerosmith told the pickers, don't redo it. We want to buy it. They preserved it, but I believe Aerosmith owns it again. I don't know what they paid for it, but I'm sure it was a pretty penny and they got it back. You guys need to see Wednesday, and she is sitting with her paws on the Wednesday. What are you doing down there? She's sitting with her paws on the table. What are you doing? Are you just sitting? You just listening to me talk? You're just hanging out? Okay. Let's see. Let's get Otto in the war room for a podcast, Shannon says. That would be a blast. There were a couple things that I've talked to Ian about that that we haven't done yet. We definitely wanted to do a Mojave Desert phone booth expedition episode with me, Mike Shue, and Ian, and to try and get some of the guys from the documentary film crew that followed us to come on the podcast. We definitely want to do that. That's on the docket. And then we also should probably do a Woodstock 99. And if I could get Otto and Ian, that would be awesome. So that's a really good idea, Shannon. Let me see if I can make that happen. Let's see. Carol says, I miss my dog. Carol, I'm sending you so much love. Know that there is a grumble of pugs. I've lost 4 pugs over the years. And I hope that wherever we go, wherever animals go, after they cross the Rainbow Bridge, that my 4 pugs were there awaiting your dog. So, Carrie, did you see that Andy Biggio received the Army's 34th Division Infantry Legionnaire Award for his work? Andrew, I did see that. He was also given the Order of St. Maurice in support of the infantry as well, which is pretty spectacular. Now I got to move the camera again? Okay. We talked about it a little bit last week about how clingy Wednesday has been. You guys obviously see that has not changed in the last week, that she has definitely been hanging around me a lot more. And she's going to be spending a lot of time with Auntie while I'm in Chicago. But she's been doing really good. Thank you for the kisses. Would you like a cookie because you gave me a kiss? Huh? Back up. Back up. Down. Good girl. Good girl. Did you see Johnny posted the link to the Pistachio album on SoundCloud today? Ryan says, no. So we've talked about my friend Johnny, who was the lead singer in the band Pistachio locally when I first started on the air. And he was also somebody that chimed in on my show for years after he moved to Hollywood. I did not see that, Ryan. Can you post that link, please? I was always such a huge fan of Pistachio. They had like a funk vibe, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I loved that band. So, Amanda, let me tackle the mom question really quick. Thank you for asking. Amanda says, hope mom is doing well. Since last week, actually today, I was able to go and visit mom, which was pretty awesome. Mom is doing extraordinarily well in the hospital. She's been, what? You got to come over here. Come over here. Sit down. Sit. No, the cookie's not there. High five. No, back up. High five. Thank you. Okay, this is it. That's the last one. So I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that my mom ended up in the hospital. And they've been working with her medication. She has been pretty restricted with visitors, what we could bring in from outside. It's definitely not a place where you can just come and go as you please. So we haven't been able to bring Wednesday to visit her. And we have to make appointments to visit her, unlike if she were just in a regular nursing home type facility where we could visit her whenever we wanted. And partially it's to really get to the root of the illness and what makes it better, what makes it worse. And it's kind of hard to do that with all of these external factors and variables, like if people are bringing her sugar and salt based stuff, if she's getting jacked up on caffeine, if she's getting overstimulated with guests. So I finally got to go and see Mom today. And what's crazy, you guys know that my mom was a nurse for her entire career. Mom is actually more relaxed and happier in the hospital than she has been at home because she thinks she's working. And she thinks that she's where she belongs. She's where she's needed, and she's doing remarkably well. They've been making adjustments to, thank you, baby girl. They've been making adjustments to her medications, and we are kind of making decisions now about if it's a good idea to bring her home at this point. She has definitely, over the last month, declined as far as cognitive ability, but she was getting really moody and angry, and she is so happy being in a hospital environment. We got a really funny story about something that happened in the hospital yesterday that my mom, because she thinks she's working, the amazing nurses that are there taking care of her, let her think that. And they talk to her and ask her questions, and she's made friends with some of the other patients that she thinks she's helping to take care of. And one of the nurses was having a problem with something with the IV, not in a patient, but getting an IV set up for a patient, and was having an issue. And my mom walked by and saw this girl struggling and went over and was like, no, you do it like this, and showed her a trick. And the nurse was like, thanks, like amazing. So my mom's nursing skills are completely intact. We had a conversation today about her kids, and we realized that Mom's memory stops about 20 years ago. And so everything in the last 20 years, she doesn't really remember. She didn't recognize me or my sister. But when we asked her about her kids, she answered questions as if it were 20 years ago. And we are kind of at this point where we're having to make decisions about what's best for her, about what's best for her happiness. Mom had to imagine that my house was a medical facility, meaning that she was a nurse working in a hospital, and her imagination was driving that hallucination and was looking for patients to take care of and looking for other nurses to talk to. And obviously none of those things were here. Now that she is in a hospital setting where there are machines beeping and nurses everywhere and doctors doing rounds and people coming around with trays for meals, she has not skipped a meal. She's going to bed early and getting up early. Her demeanor is totally changed, and she's so happy. And so my sister and I, are starting to think that maybe Mom staying in an environment like that might be better for her. We went and saw her today. She let us stay for about 25 minutes. And then she was like, okay, guys, like, it was nice to see you, not realizing who we were, but I've got to get back to work. I've got things to do, and kind of kicked us out. So, I'm happy to say that my mom is really happy and healthy and doing well. And that, I think, when you're dealing with a loved one that has this kind of illness, is all that you can hope for, right? I mean, you have to come to terms with the fact and go through the stages of grief that the person's not going to get better. It's not like an infection. It's not like an injury that will heal and the person will come back the way they were, maybe with a limp or a scar. It's not like that. So all you can do is kind of accept the reality of the situation and then hope for the most dignity, hope for the highest quality of life, and hope for an environment that is safe and fulfilling for her. And she has that right now. So, and nursing was her first love. She went to trade school in high school and started working as a candy striper in a nursing home at the age of 14. And when she graduated from high school, she already had her LPN. So she has literally been working as a healthcare worker since she was 14 years old in one way, shape, or form. And this is what that's her life's passion. It's what she loves. And my sister and I are just happy that that she's happy. So Matthew says it's heartbreaking, but all you can do is hope for more good days than bad. And right now we're having all good days. The people that are where she's at right now, they say, we wish all the patients were like her. She's so happy-go-lucky. She is making her bed with hospital corners. She actually goes around with the nurses' aides and helps to strip the beds and helps to make the beds for the patients. She's obviously not practicing medicine. But the healthcare workers are allowing her to help in the small ways that she can, folding clothes, helping to make beds. And she feels useful when she has meals with some of the other patients, most of which have what she has. One of the things that happens with advanced Alzheimer's is that you forget how to eat. You forget how to feed yourself. And so mom has been helping other patients eat. And to hear these stories, it's kind of amazing to hear the nurses and the doctors and the social workers and the nurses' aides talk about she must have been like the best nurse ever. Because she's an incredible nurse, sick. So it's kind of crazy. But it was really nice to be able to go and see her today in her element and to see her happy. Because the last time I saw her, she was most definitely not that. So, sorry. But it was a good day. Don't let the tears fool you. But it was a good day. And I think anyone that's ever been a caretaker, when the weight and burden, and I don't want those words to come off negative, but when some of the burden and weight of caretaking gets lifted off of you, there is this emotional release that it's okay that other people are helping. And so to see my mom taken care of and to know that, you know, I slept through the night last night, to know that it was okay for me to focus on work and focus on some of the other things that I need to focus on. Part of the reason why I'm so open to talking about this stuff with you guys is that we are all getting to the point where this generation, our generation, is going to be faced with these decisions and these experiences. And our generation is also at a point where you've got kids that are becoming adults in their own right. And so I talk about this stuff not only to hopefully be able to have other people that are going through the same thing as me realize that how you're feeling and all the feelings you're having are normal because everyone has them. But to also, if you're lucky enough to still have your parents who are older, part of the baby boomer generation or the greatest generation, if you're lucky enough to have grandparents still alive, to be able to talk to you guys about how to be prepared. And then also for our generation to go into our older years with the idea and understanding about what it is that we can still do that is still in our power to kind of stay in front of some of the stuff, to be prepared for our loved ones, to stay on top of our health care and doctor's appointments, and to really try to do everything we can to extend the good years. And Karen says peace of mind is priceless. You've never slept in a bed with hospital corners. I slept. So let me tell you about the hospital corners. My sister and I, who shared a bedroom until I started high school. And then we moved so that we could have separate bedrooms. My sister and I have very different sleeping habits. I personally like to sleep in a bed where the sheets are perfectly folded in hospital corners and the sheets are tight as a drum. My sister likes it the exact opposite. And part of it was that our parents, when we were kids, they used to tuck us in really tight. I mean, my mom could make a bed like nobody's business. And it was always fun when we were kids that, when our parents would come to tuck us in, my dad would like tip the mattress on its side and we would laugh and he would pull the blanket super tight. So you were basically like tucked in, almost unable to move. And it was always like this game to see who could get tucked in the tightest. I still like sleeping like that. Weighted blankets, the whole thing. My sister must have been scarred for life with that experience as a kid because she does not like sleeping like that at all. But I have learned from the best, i.e. my mother, how to make a bed with the perfect, straight, tucked, bounce a quarter off the sheets, hospital corners. And I still, when I make the bed like that. So, Debbie says it's not just your mom that's going through this. It's all of you that are affected by this. There are some sorts of emotions that you go through, and relief is one of them. And for many different reasons. Yeah, absolutely. So it is one of those things where, caretakers, regardless if you're an elderly caretaker, you could have an adult child that has some kind of, medical condition that keeps them at home with you. You could have someone that suffered an accident, someone that suffered a pretty catastrophic injury. There are a lot of veterans that have their spouses that take on these roles as caretakers, whether they have brain injuries or have lost limbs. And it can be difficult. Now, the different case with my mom and people with illnesses and diseases like my mom is that they can't communicate what it is that they really want or need or how they're feeling. And then you start playing roulette with, well, she's lashing out, so maybe it's this. It's like trying to figure out why a baby is crying. Is it because they're hungry? Is it because they're thirsty? Is it because they're uncomfortable? Is it because they have to go to the bathroom? Do they have gas? Like you have to do this trial and error thing to try and figure it out. Amanda says, my mom used to iron the sheets. I know people that do that. I don't do that. I'm not at that stage, but the sheets get made. I had a family help me out when I got into a wheelchair, says Sean. Yeah, and it, like I said, burden is not the right word. I just can't think the responsibility, I guess, is a better word. Just that the caretaker shoulders this responsibility, and that whole being on the airplane with the oxygen mask analogy is totally true. And when you as the caretaker start breathing from that oxygen mask yourself, you start realizing how far you let yourself go. And so that has kind of been my process the last couple of weeks since my mom's been in the hospital. I still have a hard time sleeping like 8 hours straight through. I still wake up in the middle of the night, like thinking I need to go check on her. And I'm still digging out of a mountain of work and things around the house that I let go because, hey, Wednesday. And so it's weird to be able to focus on those things. It's like weird to be able to make myself a meal instead of like eating leftovers from whatever I made my mom, and just to be able to cook what I feel like eating as opposed to what my mom wanted to eat. Selena says, I took care of my father up until the day he passed. Eric says, I wanted to tell you that I have a friend who has a Tibetan Spaniel. Bumblebee loves me and she loves to sing to me. And if there's anyone who loves to do nose work, you would love this dog. See, the dog stuff helps. Wednesday helps. And one of the questions that we've been asking about where we're thinking about relocating mom on a more permanent basis, at least for the phase of her illness that she's in right now, where she's super active and really wants to kind of be in this hospital setting and is starting to wander and roam, is whether or not there can be pet visits, because we definitely want to be able to bring Wednesday to visit Grammy. So let's see. No one over 40 sleeps 8 hours, says Andrew. Let's see. They definitely do. Going through it all with my 83-year-old dad. You know, it's part of the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this, because regardless of the illness, regardless if it's temporary or permanent, we're all going to end up a caretaker at some point in our life, and it can be tough. And so it's incumbent on all of us, while we're still young and healthy, to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make it easier on those that love us if and when we need to be taken care of too. So, all right, we got a lot to talk about. So I want to remind you guys, I'm headed to Chicago later this week. If you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you're going to be given, you're going to be getting all of the travel blog updates, and obviously keep your eyes on my social media pages as well. But if you got a Backstage Pass, I'll be giving you a little bit more of everything that I'm doing while I'm in Chicago. All right, let's talk about cocktails, shall we? Yes, I think we shall. All right, let me see. Where is that? Here it is. We're still in summer, so I was trying to find something that was still, and she's back. Right? I wanted to find something that was still tropical and summery. So this one's called the Bali Trader. It's 2 ounces of vodka. It is 2/3 of an ounce of green banana liqueur. And it is also 2/3 of an ounce of pineapple juice. It says shake the ingredients and then stir into a cocktail glass and serve. So that's called the Bali Trader. And, we've been talking the last few weeks about how to garnish something like that. I thought maybe some chocolate covered coconut shavings. If you're into coconut and chocolate with the banana, thought it would be really good, like especially with the pineapple, that a little coconut and pineapple is always a good thing. A little chocolate and banana and pineapple is always a good thing. So if you have suggestions on how to garnish the Bali Trader, it's a simple drink. Vodka, banana liqueur, and pineapple juice is pretty simple. Let's see. Jen says she's waiting for mail call. Haven't sent this in a long time, but Blueberry Cobbler, says Steve. Watch 3 Days Live on Hulu. Some great bands, says Ryan. Let's see. Lost me at banana, but love pineapple, says Kathy. Brown sugar, Donna. That would be great for the rim job. Stop it. You know what I mean. Stop. But maybe, some brown sugar on the rim I think would be delicious. Chocolate dipped banana. You know how they have like the frozen banana slices you can get at the supermarket? Like maybe you could do some frozen banana slices covered in chocolate. And then just as they start to melt, you could put them on a toothpick and garnish it that way. I think that would be delicious. Chocolate dipped pineapple for sure. Especially like if you guys ever had like the dried pineapple, which I love. Some people don't like it. I really like it. That maybe you could put that in there as well. Keith says rim job. Haha. Yes, I know I said rim job, Donna. That's what she said, says Penny. I posted that link to Pistachio above. I can DM it to you if you want. Ryan, if you click the studio button at mistresscarrie.com and email it to me through the website, that would be fantastic. Let's see. We know what you meant, says Melissa. Yeah. So anyway, that's called the Bali Trader. I thought it sounded yummy. I'm not the biggest fan of banana liqueur, but I love the pineapple and banana combination with the vodka. I thought would be really good. So, right, Wednesday? Are you just hanging out with me? Okay. All right, let's talk about last week's podcast episode because I loved this episode with Slaine. I think it might be one of my favorite episodes. Congratulations to Slaine. They had the ribbon cutting at Charles River Recovery today, which is the detox and rehab facility that he is actually a part of. And it's been such a passion of his since he got sober to be able to be an advocate for other people that are in recovery, that now he's actually part of a professional facility that can help make that happen. And they had the ribbon cutting today, and they're getting ready to open the detox in the next couple of weeks. And he is super excited about it. We were texting earlier today. And so I wanted to say congratulations, not only to Slaine, but everyone at Charles River Recovery, because today is a huge day. Episode 114 of the Mistress Carrie podcast features local Boston hip-hop artist and actor Slaine. You've seen him in movies like The Town and Gone Baby Gone. Penny says it was an awesome episode. Christina says Slaine was my favorite podcast so far, which says a lot because there have been some great interviews on the podcast, but Slaine was so open and so honest, so forthcoming about his upbringing, his struggles. I am in awe of people that can be so open about their strengths and weaknesses, and to be so willing to admit the wrongs they've done, and to be so motivated to be able to right those wrongs and make amends, and to try and do better, to be a better father, to help other people struggling to get where he is sooner. He's a remarkable guy. He and I are already talking about him coming back on the show. I told him when the new record comes out that he needs to come back so that we can talk about the new music and talk about how things are going with Charles River Recovery, and to see if he's going to be in any more movies. So definitely expect another episode from Slaine, because we just really hit it off, and we've been texting a lot since then, talking a lot about the podcast, talking a lot about, the process of podcasting, talking about the music scene in Boston. The only thing I regret about having him here is that I never got a picture of him and Wednesday in the war room together, which I wish that I had done, right? You kept jumping on Slaine and scratching his legs. I don't think you like that very much. He doesn't seem like somebody you want to make angry, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah. My sister does this all the time to Wednesday's ear. She'll go, right? So episode 114, a lot of great feedback on this episode as well. And a lot of international traffic on this week's podcast. It's got to be because, it could be the music, but it's got to be, to a certain extent, the success of the movies as well. So I absolutely, it's just me getting the weird, is it me just getting the weird echo? Amanda wants to know, are you guys getting a weird echo? Or is it just me going, blah, 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 blah? Donna says, I'm not, but last week the audio was off for me. No echo here, says Shannon. Marcy, you're getting an echo too? There is an echo in the war room because I'm not in a professional studio. I'm in the war room. And so the ceiling, the way that the ceiling is pitched in the war room, it does echo in here, which is part of the reason why I try not to talk too loud, because I try to keep the echo to a minimum. this room is just a regular room in the house where I spend time with friends because the bar is in here. There's music in here. So soundproofing it like MCHQ is not really practical. So there is a little bit of echo in the room, but I don't think that's part of the show. I think it's just the acoustics in here. Let's see. No echo, but I keep hearing the clocks ticking, says Eric. Yeah, well, the clocks are there and they tick. There's nothing I can do about it. They're loud. I don't even hear the clocks in the war room anymore because they've been there for 12 years and the clicking, and there's 4 of them for 4 different time zones. So, right. Oh, she's such a love bug. All right. So, any more feedback on last week's episode? The audio itself is echoing, not the room for me. Amanda, I don't know. That's very weird. I did a little research on some of the buffering that was happening on the show last week, and I'm trying a different hardwired connection with the computer tonight, so hoping we're not going to have any issues. William says, no echo here in Texas. What is that, Barnhart, Texas? Nice. It was fine earlier. That's very strange because nothing's changed in here. Very weird. All right. Let's talk about this week's episode, shall we? Episode 115 of the Mistress Carrie podcast is something that we haven't done since episode number 2. You'll remember back on episode 2 that I did. Do you want me to pet you? Is that what you want? She's poking at me. Do you want to come sit on my lap? Do you want to come sit on my lap? No? You just want me to rub you? Okay. Episode 2 of the Mistress Carrie podcast had 2 separate interviews from 2 different bands and 2 different band members. Episode 2, you'll remember, featured Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour, and also featured Zach Myers from Shinedown. We've done episodes and interviews where we've had multiple band members before. We did the Guitar God episode where it was members of Bad Wolves, Bush, and Lamb of God together. But we haven't done another episode where we did 2 different interviews in the same episode from 2 different bands. And so I brought that back this week because they have something in common. So episode 115 of the Mistress Carrie podcast features The Retaliators. The horror movie that's coming out on September 14th, The Retaliators, features Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach, features members of Five Finger Death Punch, and it also features Tommy Lee, who was cast in the film as a strip club DJ. So I thought on this episode of the podcast, it would be fun to get a couple of different guys from a couple of the different bands that are represented in the movie to talk about the movie and also talk about everything else that's going on. The first part of episode 15 features a quicker interview with Zoltan Bathory from Five Finger Death Punch, who is getting ready to go out on the road with Megadeth, Fire from the Gods, and The Who. And Five Finger Death Punch, the reason why it was a quicker episode, or a quicker interview with Zoltan, I should say, is that their new album, Afterlife, comes out this Friday. And he is just straight out with interviews and press leading up to the release of the record. He's been traveling. The band is doing a lot, getting ready to release Afterlife on Friday. But Zoltan and I sat down and talked about the writing process of the record. We talked about his overactive work ethic, which is something he and I have always had in common. Zoltan and I, just to kind of fill you in a little bit, Zoltan used to be in this band called UPO back in the 90s. And WAAF played that band. And Zoltan and I became friends back then and remained friends. And when he ended up moving to Vegas and he's actually the one that put Five Finger Death Punch together. He had reached out to me at WAAF, obviously 15 years ago now, and said, I'm putting this band together, Five Finger Death Punch. I think you're going to love them, and I want you to help me break this band. And so that's how far back Zoltan and I go. So we were talking about the similarities he and I have with our overactive work ethics. He is a Hungarian immigrant, so he talks a little bit about that, and that being part of the reason why he works so hard. And just talking about what it was like during the lockdown for someone with an overactive work ethic that can't be out on the road doing what he would normally be doing with the band. So Zoltan and I had a great conversation. The next part of the episode features Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach, who's already been on the show on episode 48. This movie is Jacoby's acting debut, and he plays like a psycho in this movie. And we got into it a little bit about what it's like to play a character like that. Now, Jacoby is out on the Rockzilla tour right now with Falling in Reverse and Hollywood Undead and Bad Wolves. And you'll remember just a few weeks ago when Ronnie Radke from Falling in Reverse was on the podcast, Ronnie was showering Jacoby with praise about how Jacoby kind of acts like his older brother, gives him a lot of career advice and a lot of sobriety advice. Well, I asked Kobe about that. And so his answer to that question is in this week's episode. And Jacoby and I talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about the upcoming Pantera tribute tour with Charlie Benante and Zakk Wylde. We talked about his fellow Retaliator star Tommy Lee's dick pic that got released that broke the internet. There's a lot of really great stuff from Jacoby on this week's episode. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear it. There's a lot going on with both Papa Roach and Five Finger Death Punch right now. Ego Trip, the latest Papa Roach album, came out recently. Five Finger Death Punch has got their new album coming out on Friday. The movie comes out in a couple of weeks. And so these guys are in basically similar places in their careers. And then to hear what Zoltan said about Jacoby's performance, and to hear Jacoby talk about Zoltan's performance and Ivan Moody's performance from Five Finger Death Punch in the movie is pretty awesome. So your sound is fading in and out. Is it because I'm moving? Because this microphone is if I go like this, is that what you're hearing? Because these microphones want you to confront the microphone. MC's house is haunted. Get used to it, says Kevin. No issues for me. Try leaving and coming back. It fixed the echo issue for me. Okay, maybe that worked for Amanda. It could be a Facebook thing. There have been a lot of comments about Facebook Live, Instagram Live, people having issues, which is why I've thought about possibly transitioning Cocktails in the War Room into streaming on YouTube. I am open to discussion about that. I'm open to suggestion. When I do the private monthly live streams with the Backstage Pass holders, we do all of that through YouTube, and it kind of functions the same way. I use the same software, so it looks the same. It just interfaces with YouTube instead of Facebook. Still records the episodes. Being able to record the episodes and then post them up on Facebook, or to be able to post the link to YouTube on Facebook, I'd still be able to do all of that stuff. But if we're starting to have more and more issues with Facebook, I don't know, maybe it might be time to have a serious conversation about streaming the show on YouTube and then posting it on Facebook after the fact. I don't know. I am open to suggestions. Andrew says, do it. Then I could post the YouTube link on Facebook. So people that want to watch it on Facebook, I guess, could still watch it live on Facebook, but you would have to comment through YouTube. Your nails are always beautiful, says Christine. Thanks, Christine. That has been, I'll tell you, I don't act like a girl often, right? The hair dyeing, the makeup, the fingernails, it's about as girly as I get. And it has been like one of the only things that I've kind of allowed myself to do is be able to go and get my nails done every once in a while, and to be able to go and see Linda and get my hair done, and to take that hour or 2 hours for myself, and to be able to go and do something that's just for me through the last couple of years, especially with everything going on with Mom. My manicurist says thank you. Linda says thank you. Let's see. YouTube doesn't give me reminders for my absent-minded brain. I I wonder if I could set reminders on Facebook. Maybe I could set an event for the War Room every Tuesday and then put the embedded YouTube player in that, and that would set a reminder for you. I don't know, Amanda, let me look into it. Obviously, this is not a decision I take lightly. Melissa says, I like the Facebook Live. You can see the comments from everyone during the show. You can't see the comments on YouTube. Seriously, Melissa, that's how that works? You can't see the string of comments on YouTube? Interesting. The sound is fine, though I am partially deaf, says Kevin. Do you buy purple lipstick in bulk? So I don't know what this says about me as a person, but I think it speaks to my loyalty that when I find something I like, I just kind of stick to it. So when I find a lipstick I like, that's kind of the only one I wear. When I find a perfume I like, it's the one I wear. Linda's been doing my hair for probably almost 20 years now, and she's got the color purple that I want nailed down, haven't changed it. Good news for my husband. We've been engaged 2 years today, by the way, guys. Can you believe I got engaged 2 years ago today? And you guys were some of the first ones to know, especially the Backstage Pass holders. But so when I find something I really like, I keep it around. I'm kind of habit formed that way. I don't know if I'm quite the, the CEO of Apple. Why can't I remember his name off the top of my head? Who wore literally the same clothes every day. He had like sets and sets of the same jeans, the same black turtleneck. I'm not quite that way, but I'm pretty habit forming. I'm one of those people that when I find like something that I like if I find a pair of jeans that I like, I buy them in every color they have because I like the fit. Like, I don't know. It's just Steve Jobs. Thank you, Shannon. I'm not like Steve Jobs famously wore the same jeans and the same black turtleneck. He bought like dozens of them and just wanted to be able to dress the exact same every day. I'm not quite that bad, but I don't know what it says about me that I'm that habit forming, I guess. I don't really like change all that much, I guess. Linda, you are spot on with your work. Linda does rock. She is a badass. Garanimals, says Kathy. Oh my God, I loved my Garanimals. Garanimals and Underoos. If you were a kid that grew up Generation X and you didn't wear Garanimals and Underoos, are you even really Generation X? Probably not. So episode 115 comes out at midnight tonight. I'm super excited for you guys to hear this. I talked to Zoltan about when they're in town with Five Finger Death Punch and Megadeth about sitting back down for a longer interview about maybe getting Ivan to sit down and talk to me as well. But super excited to have Zoltan and Jacoby on episode 115 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. New episodes come out every Wednesday, and then every weekday you get the Situation Report, which is all your rock news, music headlines, industry info, entertainment updates, all of that stuff. Every weekday that goes live in the middle of the night so that no matter how early you get up in the morning, you can get caught up on everything that's going on and kind of get about your day because it only takes 5 minutes. So if you subscribe and follow the Mistress Carrie podcast, which by the way, you can do in a multitude of places. The podcast is part of the Pantheon Podcast Network, and you can find it pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. It's literally everywhere. And if you don't understand podcast technology, if you don't want to use the apps, just go to mistresscarrie.com, find the episode you want to listen to, and literally click play on the player. That easy. But there are tons of places that you can listen to the podcast, and it grows every day. So not only can you listen to the podcast, but even though I'm seeing the international audiences grow, some things haven't changed. The top 5 countries listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast have not changed. Number 1, the United States. Number 2, Canada. Number 3, the UK. Number 4, Russia. And number 5, Singapore. And we are still holding strong at 130 countries, although the momentum is building to the point where I think we are going to get over 130 countries very quickly. And once again, at certain parts of the show, she's back. What are you doing? Do you think we're getting close to mail call? Is that why? That you want to come back in here and sit on the couch in the exact spot that the camera's focused on? Because you're hitting your mark because you think I might have something to give you, which I do not. Those things, the word I'm not going to say because it gets you excited, I don't have anymore. I'm sorry. You're so beautiful, though. You're so pretty. Yeah. Snuggle Bug Wednesday. All right, let's talk about some music headlines because there's lots to get through and I don't want the show to run too late tonight. The Trinity of Terror with Ice Nine Kills, Motionless in White, and Black Veil Brides, along with Atreyu, are headed to the Tsongas Center. The show is November 17th. The tickets are already on sale. Should have taken that Friday, August 5th thing off. First typo with the show. Everybody that's new to the War Room, if there's a typo on the screen, you got to drink. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss are just a few weeks away at the Leader Bank Pavilion, coming up on September 9th and at Foxwoods on September 10th. The Stevie Nicks tour got announced. She's going to be at the Xfinity Center coming up September 19th. Those tickets are already on sale. They went on sale last Friday. Typo number 2 of the show. The Red Hot Chili Peppers got a new album called Return of the Dream Canteen coming out on October 14th. And pretty excited about it. I love Unlimited Love. I think it's a great Red Hot Chili Peppers album. So I'm very curious how this album complements that one. Shinedown. Can I get a cheers from you guys, please? Shinedown's latest single from their album Planet Zero, Daylight, went number 1 this week. It is Shinedown's 19th number 1 song, the most of any rock band ever on the rock chart since they started keeping track of the rock chart. To the guys from Shinedown, cheers to you guys. Congratulations. Just a huge feat. Shinedown, Jelly Roll, and John Harvey are going to be at the Xfinity Center coming up on September 13th. Tickets are on sale right now. Alice in Chains, Breaking Benjamin, and Bush are coming to the Xfinity Center on October 8th. Those tickets are on sale now. In This Moment with Nothing More and the Cherry Bombs and Sleep Token at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. That is coming up on September 17th. Those tickets are on sale now. Aaron Lewis also just a couple weeks away from his show with his band, the State Liners, at Indian Ranch in Webster on September 3rd. And also, Stained is going to be together at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield coming up September 11th. Joe Satriani's at the Orpheum November 5th. Five Finger Death Punch, Megadeth, The Who, and Fire from the Gods, September 18th at the Xfinity Center. Those tickets are on sale now. AWOL Nation is headed to the House of Blues on October 23rd. And speaking of new albums, Slipknot's new album comes out September 30th. It's called The End So Far. Really excited about the new Slipknot album. They released another new song recently called Yen. It is fantastic. Extreme is going to be at Indian Ranch coming up September 2nd, at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom on September 3rd. Then they're opening up for Aerosmith on September 8th at Fenway. A couple days later, the Chili's are going to be at Fenway on September 10th. And across the street, Judas Priest with Queensryche are going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. That brand new venue opens next week, by the way. We're going to get a sneak peek of it before the first show, but can't wait to see the inside. But Judas Priest and Queensryche are going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway coming up October 16th. The MGM Music Hall, by the way, they're doing like a invite-only kind of press thing so we can go and kind of walk around the venue and kind of check it out. Pretty excited. And Godsmack next Saturday night is going to be the first concert ever there, which is awesome. Ghost, Mastodon, and Spirit Box are going to be at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island on September 12th. The Tattoo the Earth Festival is coming to the Palladium outdoors. So it's going to be a big 2-stage outdoor festival with Anthrax and Black Label Society along with Hatebreed, At the Gates, Municipal Waste, and Enforced. And just announced today, Jeff Beck is going to be at the MGM Music Hall on October 6th. Those tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. That show is added to the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Also want to remind you guys the new Clutch album, Slaughter Beach, is going to be out on September 16th, and that means a tour to follow as well. So huge Clutch fan. We took those guys deep sea fishing for Real Rock TV years ago, an absolute blast. Speaking of the MGM Music Hall, Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, they're going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway on September 21st. And like I said, Godsmack next Saturday night is the first concert ever. And the proceeds go to benefit the Scars Foundation and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. There may still be some tickets left available. To see Godsmack in Boston in a 5,000 seat brand new venue, pretty spectacular opportunity. So that's next Saturday night if you're looking for something to do. Evanescence and Korn are going to be at the Xfinity Center coming up on the 26th, though that show's not that far away. And coming up this Friday, Styx, REO Speedwagon, and Loverboy are going to be on the live and on Zoom tour at the Xfinity Center. And also coming up on Friday at the Tupelo Music Hall in Derry, New Hampshire, Scott Stapp from Creed is going to be there as well. So lots of shows, lots going on. Coming up this Friday, a slew of new releases as well. New music comes out on Friday. Demi Lovato's new album, Holy Fuck, is coming out. I bring it up because Nita Strauss, who's been on the podcast and was Alice Cooper's guitar player for 6 years, she is now Demi Lovato's guitar player, and they played their first show on the tour this week. There's footage up online. It's great. Nita shreds. So Demi Lovato's new album comes out this Friday. Devil Driver are releasing Clouds Over California, the studio albums 2003 to 2011. The new Five Finger Death Punch album, Afterlife, is out this Friday. The new I Prevail album, True Power, is coming out this Friday. And also the Silver Sun Pickups, Physical Thrills, comes out this Friday as well. I'm going to the Tattoo the Earth Festival, says Michael. Whitesnake canceled their tour. Whitesnake canceled the North American appearance on the Scorpions tour because David Coverdale is still battling what he calls a stubborn upper respiratory infection that is prohibiting him from performing. So he's got to have either shortness of breath, raspiness, some kind of congestion, something that's just making it impossible for him to sing. They were able to do, I think, the first half of the first leg of the farewell tour in Europe. And then he got sick and they had to pull themselves off of the tour. And then they had to cancel the appearance of the entire North American tour for the Scorpions Rock Believer tour, which sucks because the guys from Whitesnake and the Scorpions have been friends for years. And that is rolling into Foxwoods, and Whitesnake's not on it, which is a bummer. Godsmack used to play at Bleachers when I worked security there. It was insane. Ryan, I was at a lot of those shows. When I first started at WAF, I used to go to a lot of those shows and introduce the band just to get my name out there because I had just started on the air. And you're right, those shows at Bleachers were nuts. I won the VIP experience at Fenway from work. That is fantastic, Keith. Have a great time at Fenway. Amanda, I don't know if it's COVID related. He has not said it's COVID related, so I don't know. Can't keep up with all of these shows and dates. Heinz, that's why you got to subscribe to the calendar on mistresscarrie.com. You can actually put the calendar, depending on what kind of phone you have. If it's iCal on an iPhone, it'll put all the shows on your phone. It's awesome. It'll set reminders. It'll put all the info up there. So if you're looking to keep all of these concerts straight, just go to the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com because all of the shows have all of the details up there. Now, speaking of one of the events that is up on the calendar, and this is coming up fast. The Hairfest, I feel like, was like yesterday, and the Rockfest is coming up September 10th at Indian Ranch with another fantastic lineup of tribute bands. Hold on, I want to make this a little bit bigger so that you can read these better. It's another day-long extravaganza of the best tribute bands around. Bad Company, Pat Benatar, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Foreigner, Aerosmith. If you're into cover bands, it's a full day of it at Indian Ranch. Music starts at noon. There's no lighting there, so the shows are during the daytime, and it's a blast. So if you're looking for something to do on September 10th, you can join the Pike at Rockfest. All right, a couple things I want to show you guys in mail call. Hold on. So first of all, I have a neighbor who is amazing. Actually, I'm really lucky that pretty much all of my neighbors are awesome and we're close. We play cards together. It's that kind of, can I borrow a cup of sugar thing? Can you take my trash out while I'm on vacation thing? The neighbors are all like that. And we've kind of gone out of our way. You know, I bring them cookies at Christmas and they obviously love my mom and have kind of been going through everything with me. And one of the neighbors went on vacation with her grandkids. And the grandkids love Wednesday and have always come to visit their grandmother and have always wanted to play with my pugs over the years. And so they went on vacation together and they know that I love the Muppets. And so the grandkids gave me this car that they got on vacation and put Muppets in it to give to me to cheer me up, which I thought was really, really sweet. And I wanted to show it to you guys because I thought it was absolutely adorable that they built this little safari car for me with Animal and Janice and Miss Piggy. It's hilarious. And then the other thing that they brought to me from their vacation is there was a vendor that had a 3D printer and he was 3D printing all of these cool things. And he was 3D printing pugs and like the legs are jiggly and the body like bends. And so you basically like lay it down on like a counter or a desk and the legs all sprawl out. Hold on, I'm trying to, so that you can see it. The legs all sprawl out like this. Like how freaking adorable is this thing? Hold on, I want to give you a better angle. Like, look at how cute it is. And it's made out of this like 3D printer pug. So cute. They were like, we thought it was going to be a little closer in color to your hair. I was like, it's not bad. When it gets bleached out in like bright fuchsia, it'll match. But I thought it was really cute. The 3D printed pug. So I got to find a place for it in MCHQ, but I wanted to show that to you guys. And then everybody at the post office says hi. This came in the mail, and I went and grabbed it today. Beautiful hummingbird card. The hummingbird feeder outside the window of MCHQ has been banana pants for some reason. Hey, Mistress Carrie and Wednesday, I was shopping Christmas in July at some local businesses, and this had your name on it. The sticker says his name is Archie. Merry Christmas in July from Michelle. Hi from Florida. It's still hot as hell. You'll get it when you open it. Hey. Hot as hell. The Devil Ducky. So what it says, the sticker says his name is what? Archie? Why is the Devil Duck's name Archie? Challenge accepted. Here he is. To add to the duck collection, the Devil Duck. Not the Devil Dog, which is delicious, by the way. And now Wednesday is all excited about a squeaking toy. This is not for you. This is from me. Okay? It's okay? Can I have it? What? She's probably going to, hold on. She's smelling the Devil Duck. What are you doing? Are you smelling the duck? I don't think she's a fan of the Devil Duck. I'm going to leave the ducky right here. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank you for the Devil Duck from Florida. I love it. It will be added to the bathroom collection. I got to take some pictures of the duck collection for you guys. It's just, I say that every time somebody says me a duck and then I never do it. But I got to do it because the collection is kind of bonkers now. It's getting out of control. I should have gotten her that one, says Michelle. Wednesday's face. She's afraid of it. Wednesday is gone. Yeah, she's sitting. Look, can you guys see her? She's like tucked behind me right now. What are you doing, Nugget? Huh? What are you doing? Oh my goodness. Why are you so snuggly tonight, huh? Why are you so snuggly? She's just, can you guys? She's sitting on my lap. Has she ever done that in the War Room in 197 episodes? Has Wednesday ever just come over and sat? Oh, she's taking my headphones. Has she ever just come and sat on my lap? So weird. She wants loving. I know. Goodbye, pillow, says Eric. I've already put the pillows up on this couch twice while I was putting the War Room together. Trust me. All right. I want to remind you guys that summer is almost over. And so your chance to get the Mistress Carrie tank tops, get them while you can, because they're not going to get restocked for the rest of the year. Obviously, with the cold weather coming, we're going to be focusing on other stuff. So if you want the tank tops, you're running out of time to get them because they are in stock in all sizes, but some of the sizes, there's only a few left in those sizes. So if you want them, you got to get them now. She knows you're leaving. Yeah, I know, right? Don't tell her that I'm leaving. All right. If today is your birthday, you are celebrating your birthday with Matt Lukin from Mudhoney. You're also celebrating your birthday with Madonna, who turned 64 today, which is kind of insane. And Tim Ferriss from INXS. Today is INXS Day, by the way. If you guys are a fan of the band, today, 45 years ago, ironically, the exact same day Elvis died, INXS played their first live show as a band. And so they've been doing this thing, calling it INXS Day on their TikTok page. And they're doing question and answer stuff. They're streaming shows. So if you're an INXS fan, you got to check out the INXS TikTok. But those are all of the people that are celebrating birthdays today. Happy unbirthday, Keith. I did not forget you this week. So happy birthday, or happy unbirthday, I should say. Happy birthday to Tim, Madonna, and Matt Lukin from Mudhoney. Maybe in the early War Room days that Wednesday came and sat on my lap. 197 episodes, and I still haven't seen any boobs, says Keith. Keith's unbirthday is shared with Madonna. Ha ha, exactly. All right, if you don't have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you can get one on Patreon. Want to remind you guys that you have access to tickets to see Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage, Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin and Bush, and also tickets to see I Prevail. Those tickets are all up for grabs. I'm working on some new shows that are getting ready to get announced. Shows that are getting announced for next year. We're already working on stuff for next year. It's crazy. But so if you have a Backstage Pass, you get access to all of those tickets. We're going to get the live stream scheduled for the end of the month. I just don't have a date yet. It just depends on everything going on with Mom right now. You can submit podcast interview questions, travel blog updates. So don't forget, as I head towards Chicago, you're also going to get early access on event tickets and all of that stuff. So Shannon, the Shinedown tickets are proving hard to get. Hard to get and hard to get enough of them. Somebody else sent me a message about that through Patreon. And when Shinedown comes to the Boston area, when they come to Massachusetts, it's like a hometown show for them. And I get plastered with ticket requests from people that want to go and see them as well. So how is your birthday planning going? Donna, to be honest, my birthday planning has been like the last thing I've been thinking about. Getting Mom settled, figuring out what was going on with that, getting this trip to Chicago to go off without a hitch. I have not really even had the time to kind of plan the birthday stuff, but I need to make a decision soon as to whether or not I'm going to do something for the birthday or if I'm not. And the plan obviously is to do something, but I got to make sure that we have enough time to pull off what I want to do. So, my birthday falls on a War Room night this year. Nice. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. I want to remind you guys of all the places you can find me on social. There's a ton of them. They're all right here. They're all linked at mistresscarrie.com. It's really the only link you need is just go to mistresscarrie.com. All of life's questions can be answered on mistresscarrie.com. So there you go. All right, guys, it's getting late. I got a trip to plan for. I haven't packed yet. I still have got work to do and a war room to clean up and a pug to snuggle. There's a lot going on over here. And so next week, I'll fill you guys in on all of the details from Chicago, but keep your eyes on my social media. And obviously, if you got a backstage pass, keep your eyes on Patreon, guys, and I'll be giving you guys updates. So we can do a delayed party. We'll see. Looking for photos of old school hard rock and metal bands, says Ralph. I'll see if I can track some down for you. All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Good night. Thank you for hanging out with me 197 times. And I'll be back next Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern for episode 198. Good night.